Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back with another review. And this particular review has been a long time coming. We're actually doing a group review because of how things were delivered and stuff like that. This is a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise, or Trilogy, Autobot Alliance 2-pack of Ironhide and Prowl, along with the Galactic Odyssey Paradron Medic set with Ratchet. Both sets are Amazon exclusives, but good luck finding them. Through a combination of everything going on in the world, as well as I think a large heaping amount of human and corporate error, even if you got pre-orders in for these sets on day one that they were available, there was no guarantee you were going to get them. People have had them canceled. People have had them delayed. As it is in my case and several others, I actually got the Galactic Odyssey set with Ratchet before I got Prowl and Ironhide. And Ratchet is the repaint of Ironhide. Meanwhile, Prowl, he was actually supposed to be released either right before Silver Streak, Blue Streak. Ooh, that was a Freudian slip. And either before or in concert with Smokescreen. But now we're getting it now. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on there. Not really sure why. A lot of things to discuss there. Perhaps for people much wiser than I. But end of the story is I got the sets and they're here. So we'll pause and we'll start off taking a look at Ratchet and Ironhide. Okay, so here's Ratchet and Ironhide. And unlike their Siege versions, where Ratchet featured significant amount of retooling from Ironhide, these are strictly just straight repaints with different heads. As you can see, with Ironhide, I went and grabbed its drill gun accessory from the Drone Generation Select set, so it's nice to have it with him. It can plug into the side of the gun, but not well. It'll hold, but the first little knock, it'll fall off. As you can also see with Ironhide, I have his gun stored here on top. You can do that, or you can do what I did with Ratchet, where I actually have it stored in the roof of the van. As you can also see on Ironhide here, there are slots there in the top, which is where the light bar on Ratchet pegged into. So yeah, but other than that, there's really no difference. I went over these. The wheels are the same. This paneling on the side is the same. It's all the same. Now, I guess maybe because on Earth they were the same vehicles, just with a light bar and stuff, or budgetary reasons, there was nothing different. I have to admit, I am a little disappointed that Ratchet does not come with the complement of accessories that the Siege one did. Maybe if it was a single release store exclusive, that might have happened. I don't know. But let me just go ahead and show you guys the difference between the shields. Well, I just have to remove those. And as you saw, the drill gun just, came right out as soon as I touched it. But this whole section does pop up. And on both of them. And once you do that, you'll basically get a somewhat naked version of the original Siege mold. Now, I'm not saying that these shield pieces are bad, but I am saying that, if you lose them, you do end up missing a significant part of the vehicle mode. But as you can see right there on Ratchet, there's where the gun stores. If you do pop these panels all the way out, as you would for its action mode, it will pop it out, which is kind of handy because then what you do is grab that little peg right there, slide it forward, reveals the cannons, thrusters, whatever. And you can go ahead and recreate the old classic G1 toy weapons platform right here. So that's a nice little feature. Other than that, the transformation for both Ironhide and Ratchet is exactly the same as the original Siege toy. Oh, one thing I guess I should mention is I'm sure that a lot of you are wondering, these side panels. Ding 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 do 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 do. They are on very tight now. Do 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 do. Yep. Okay. Sorry. Yes, but they do actually peg in quite securely. Although during transformation to vehicle mode, I did have them pop off, but that was my fault, not the fault of the toy. So how about we pause and with a little bit of camera magic, go from vehicle mode. Okay, and here they are in robot mode. As you can see, Ironhide is holding that drill gun accessory. I'm showing off the different ways to store the shield. You can actually go ahead and put it on the back of the figure, just like so. There's Ironhide there, and on Ratchet, you can use it on the arm. Again, as I mentioned, in vehicle mode, you lose the shield, you basically lose the vast majority of the vehicle mode. Now, what's interesting is here you have, like, the chest pieces. They do have that double hinge from Siege, but it's really not used. It just pegs in flat. There are some slots on the clear parts of the window that will go into tabs on the chest. So really, the only big difference is here, the heads. Here you have Ratchet's head with the crest, some nice blue eyes right there, and Ironhide with his red mohawk, and again, blue eyes. You know, it raises a good question. Are Ratchet and Ironhide brothers? Because we know that Sideswipe and Sunstreaker were labeled as brothers and were mentioned in the cartoon. Soundwave and Shockwave are brothers and mentioned in the cartoon. But Ratchet and Ironhide weren't, and neither were Prowl, Blue Streak, and Smokescreen, even though they all shared the same mold. That's a good point of discussion. And that's something to mull over as I give you one final turn of this Nissan van mold from Ironhide, from Earthrise, because now we're going to go and take a look at... Ooh, look at that. That's the first time that happened. We're going to go take a look at Prowl and compare him to Smokescreen and Blue Streak. Okay, so here's Prowl in its police car mode. Have the gun stored on top, and yeah, it's rather nice. A nice Earth-ish Japanese police car, because they did use the sports cars overseas. If you remove the gun, you can see the light bar, which I think is just pegged in right there in that normal spot, so that's removable. And the car rolls. There's really not much to show in vehicle mode. I mean, you do have the slots there from Smokescreen and Blue Streak where you would put in the shoulder guns. But in terms of comparisons, I think it's better we go right into robot mode so we can do the side-by-sides with them. So we'll go from this to this. And here's Prowl in its robot mode. Transformation is exactly the same as we've seen before. So let's just go ahead and bring in Blue Streak and Smokescreen, and you can see some similarities and differences. First of all, Prowl is... Well, actually, I should say Blue Streak is strictly a repaint of Prowl. They have the same front end, the same... basically the same head. Yes, actually, it's completely the same head, same face, which is a little bit odd since in Siege, all three had different heads. The only difference is Blue Streak came with those shoulder guns, but all the same there. And then here on Smokescreen, you can see the big differences. Completely different head and a completely new front end there for the stock car, an extended bumper section. Now, what's going to be really cool is when we get Earthrise Barricade in another Galactic Odyssey line, you're basically going to have a barricade that will be that will be drawing from Smokescreen in terms of the head, and I think even the overall mold. It's going to have that extended bumper, but the light bar from Prowl and the shoulder guns from Blue Streak, which are also from Smokescreen. So it's going to be almost a perfect combination of all three figures. But other than that, this is them from the front. The feet and legs in the back of the car obviously would be the same. And turning them around, as you can see, the only real difference is that extra light bar right over that back section piece. It is what it is. There's nothing more to it. Remember, as I said in the beginning, Prowl was supposed to be out first. Prowl was going to be our first experience with this new Earthrise Datsun mold. At least that's what I originally thought. But as with delays and everything going on in the world, some of us are just getting them now. Now, of course, I'm not counting the people who paid extra online to get the set early and, from rather questionable means, but just waiting for Amazon to ship them out if they ship them out. So, yeah, I think it's a great mold. I know I have heard some people talking about breakage on Prowl. I mean, I've only transformed him a couple times already. I haven't had a problem, so I don't know what to tell you in that regard. But I've had Smokescreen and I have had Blue Streak, and again, they're the same. I haven't had any problems. So just be careful, be mindful of the clear plastic, and, have fun. Really, that's all I can say about these figures. So we'll pause, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. I can't help but feel that I'm forgetting something looking over these two sets. Oh yeah, that's right. The Paradron Medic. Look, you're not going to see it. It's a repaint of RC. RC is the worst mold of 2020 and one of the worst figures I've ever handled of all time. It was a cheap cop-out to include it with Ratchet. It's a pain in the tush. I'm sorry and I know people are still buying RC and they're buying a Lidl one, which is a repaint, remold with a new head of that. It's terrible. If you're buying that Paradron Medic set, you're buying it for Ratchet. So yeah, you want an RC in green and white? There you go. That's it. I'm not breaking it out of the box. I'm not digging RC out just to do some comparisons. With that out of the way, here are the real stars of the set: Ironhide, Prowl, and Ratchet. I wish I got these sooner, because really these don't feel like a way to end Earthrise. And let's be honest, we're still not ending Earthrise because we still have Thrust to take a look at, as well as the Commander class and the Titan class. But yeah, for a lot of people, this is the end of the journey, and I don't know if this is the best way to end the journey. But then again, I mean, these are kind of fun figures. Yes, there's a lot of complaints about the Ironhide and Ratchet mold, that without that shield, you're basically getting a malshapen deluxe Siege Deluxe mold. And the accessory loadout could have been better. I mean, they could have skipped out on that Paradron Medic and given Ratchet its wrench and the shoulder and the back thing, but I don't want to start complaining. If you're lucky to get these from Amazon, congratulations. I hope you enjoy them. If unfortunately your order's been canceled, or you missed out on pre-orders for whatever reason, or they're still delayed, if they're still delayed, I hope you get them. Mine went from being one delivery date, pushed up, then pushed back. Then it was, we don't know when you're going to get them. And then they shipped. So, yeah, have a little hope. What I would strongly urge you is not to pay the scalper prices. It's clearly obvious a bunch of people bought these sets to sell at like a 3-time markup, especially hearing that people are having problems getting them delivered from Amazon. That really upsets me, but ultimately, it is what it is. But let me assure you, neither set is worth $100, $125, $150, $200. We will definitely get Ironhide, Prowl, and Ratchet again somewhere down the line, possibly in an even better Earth mode. Who knows? But answer one final question, no, I do not think Ironhide or Ratchet, these versions of the figure are masterpiece busters. The masterpiece was a self-contained figure, and it was the best mold of the year. Prowl, I can kind of see it, but just keep in mind that masterpiece Prowl did have built-in shoulder guns. Speaking of which, at the time of this review, we've seen photos of and have in hand sightings of Cyberverse Deluxe class Prowl. So, yeah. That one has the built-in shoulder guns and is a slightly different color scheme, so you might want to check that out as a Prowl alternative. Instead of the black, there's a little more blue. I kind of dig it, and I'm looking forward to getting it. So, this is your old pal Chuck. If you like this review, please like, comment, and subscribe. While I do appreciate the views, the liking, commenting, and subscribing helps me help you to help me bring reviews like this to you, as well as sending messages to YouTube through their algorithms that maybe my channel is something that should be promoted. Speaking of helping me to help you, help me to help you, if you really want to support the channel, then consider joining my Patreon, www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask is $1 a month. No thrills, no tiers, no special benefits. It's just a way to help keep things going. For example, I had to actually replace my brand new light box because the plug for the power plug sheared off the top. Thankfully, Amazon was quite understanding, and I just had to return the old one, and they sent this one free of charge. But still, having that extra help from Patreon helps, keep things in order. So, this is your old pal Chuck for Ironhide, Prowl, and Ratchet. Make sure to check out my daily Advent vlogs, and I'll see you next time.